that all sound
Are
good
you
to you?
drinking? Are you having a beer?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I do on every show. It's a
All
rule.
right.
It's a rule I
Cool,
don't
cool, cool.
enforce on the guests always, though.
All right. I can puff on a cigar here and
Oh
there.
hell yeah. Oh hell
All right.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. You just don't cough into the mic. I don't know. You got to have one of those cough buttons where it shuts off your mic.
I'll try not to cough. Is that usually a problem?
No, not well for me. Maybe I maybe cough too much. I'm thinking I should set up a cough button.
Yeah, I don't have one. But
Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. So if with that, I guess we're ready to go.
all right. So you don't do any talking points, anything beforehand?
I got some
My
talking points.
background.
Yeah, I write down some talking points sometimes. You don't have to think that low of me.
All right.
Isn't it better though if you don't? Like honestly, I try to not do it because I find it's more like free
Sure. No.
that way. Okay, so anyway, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Canadian Talk. Today we're here with Roger Rebegila. Is that how I pronounce that? Yeah, you Italian?
Rebegila.
Rebegila. Oh yeah,
Close
now it
enough.
sounds even more Italian.
It is an Italian name, but we're predominantly Croatian. So right on the coast there.
Oh yeah, so Russian.
Not Russian.
I'm just
Slavic.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right.
I'm starting off on the wrong foot here. Okay.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, so we're here back for another episode 116 with Roger. He is a stand-up comedian that I have come aware of from a friend of mine's vlog that he does for his stand-up comedy. He was from episode 114 or 113, Michael Blank. And I saw you on there and I thought, this guy's an interesting guy. And then I sent you a message and you go, I'm not sure if you want me on your show. Have you Googled me? And at that point, I was already in. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I did a little Google search and found out that, yeah, for sure, this is going to be an awesome episode. So, yeah, without further ado, this is Roger Rebegila. Thanks a lot for coming on the podcast today, man.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Let's talk about some real things.
Yeah. How old are you? I know that your voice is 60, but how old is your body?
My body's 35 from birth, but still feel pretty young. So,
oh, that's good.
Pretty good.
Nice. I'm 32. How long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
So I'm coming up on 3 years here. 3 years from the first time I did it.
3 years.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty long. Do you consider that long? Has it been a long grind to you, or how has it felt?
It has been. So I haven't been like some of these other comedians where they're able to do 4 or 5 open mics a week. I'm kind of stuck to doing 1, 2, 3 if I'm lucky. And so locally here, I live in a small town in St. Mary's, Kansas, middle of nowhere. So we have nothing. So I got to go half an hour to Topeka. That's where I do my typical open mics. But I've been going to Kansas City the last couple of months. So that's where you saw me with Michael.
Cool. So you're just a rural Kansas guy, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. How long has your family been in America? What generation are you here?
So I'm actually the first one ever born in the United States. My parents are both immigrants, and we come from Romania.
Oh yeah, my best friend is Romanian.
Oh really?
Yeah, I find I get along well with Romanian people, but then our politics sometimes are a little bit at odds with each other. I find that a little bit. I don't know. Why do you think that is?
So, I don't know. I don't know why that would be. I'm not sure what his political stance are, but Romania is really significant right now. I don't know if you've been following. They're going through like an election turmoil.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yeah, so that's kind of a big deal for me. Even though we're not Romanian, we were immigrants in Romania as well. That's where my family's been for a couple hundred years now. We do have our own traditions, but we are Romanian by nationality. So I care deeply about the country, and it's beautiful, and the people there I think are some of the best people in the whole world.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that's a confusing one that you have right there. Hey, you're like several different things moving around all at once. It's like I don't know though. I think that whatever a person, and this is where I get very liberal on you real quick. It's like I really do think that if you identify with something, like let's say a person who's been in Canada for 30, 50 years, and they identify with being Canadian. They can be Canadian. You know, like obviously I know nationality and ethnicity are different. Please go subscribe to our YouTube page, Canadian Talk with Stephan podcast. We need you down there. Also, we have a website, stephanjackson.ca, where you'll find the audio versions. As well, you can email us if you got a question or anything you want to see us talk about. Canadian Talk with Stephan at gmail.com. Different things. And I don't know how many years it takes for you to officially convert, where it's like, okay, you're ethnically this versus you're nationally that. I've always been confused about that. Do you know anything about it where you can enlighten me?
Well, so I was born here, and I mean, I'm a proud American. Very, very happy to be here, and very happy to be American. But I'm also proud of my Croatian heritage and even Romanian. So,
What's it
yeah,
like?
I think
How often have you been to Croatia? What's it like there?
so. Croatia, I've only been through there a couple of times, but Romania, I was actually raised there. So I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and then flown as a baby to Romania, where I was raised by my grandparents in a farming village.
Cool.
And then at around 8 years old, my mom came and brought us all back. It's a long turmoil story.
Yeah. Wow. So, like, what was it like growing up in Croatia?
Romania. So it's a Croatian village.
Romania. Sorry. Yeah. And like, what? So, what was your upbringing kind of like in Romania?
Well, it was amazing. It was we lived in a farming village, and they just got electricity, but no plumbing. So if you had to take a dump or something, you have to go to the outhouse. And I grew up with that for 8 years. They only just got indoor plumbing in the last like 10 years.
Wow. Well, I mean,
So
I don't
it's
think
still
there's anything against it. So I assume it's a cold climate there, right?
not too bad, not too much different than where we are. So they're a couple hundred miles north of Greece,
Okay.
but it is in the highlands, so they get the seasons.
How
It's
cold
not
did
too
it get?
cold. Um, about as cold as here, so probably like the low 20s in our.
In
I don't know what that
Fahrenheit.
is for you guys. So just
Yeah.
below freezing, but in the summer it's very moderate. Highs in the 80s, low 80s.
Yeah. Well, I get it. I
So
mean, as long as it gets to freezing temps, I mean, who wants to be putting in pipes and digging holes? There's nothing worse than digging a hole. Dude, have you ever dug a hole?
I have.
It fucking sucks.
It does, though. It's the worst work.
Have you ever done roofing?
I've helped out on a couple of roof jobs. I've never done it as a full-time job.
Yeah. I tried to do it as a full-time job once and I lasted about a week.
No, it's tough. No,
Yeah.
those guys are incredible.
Although I have re-shingled my houses and I don't find it to be too bad. When you're working on your own shit, I feel like I get into this weird gear where I can just do anything. Like I had a couple of my houses, they are in this old university neighborhood. And the pipes always get roots in them and I get like backups. And for some reason, when it's on my own house, the laundry room can be full of shit and I can just, take care of it, clean it up. But if it was for work, there's no amount of money you could pay me to go clean up shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
What I was gonna ask you, what do you think the reason is? Because it's your own thing. You
Yeah,
just need to get it done.
it's my own thing because I think it's because I own it. Yeah, I don't know. And because like other people live in my houses too. So it's not like it's only my shit. But for some reason, it just goes away where I can do it all of a sudden.
But it is your property, so
Yeah.
you have a vested interest.
Yeah. So it sounds like where you were in Croatia is similar to where you're kind of a rural guy. What's the population of the town you're in there?
Where I live right now, it's about 3,000, but it's a small Catholic town, so a lot of kids. So the average family here has probably like 8 to 10 kids
Oh, so
per family.
fast growing population.
Very fast, yeah.
Yeah.
So it started out like 30 years ago. There was barely no one here, and now it's booming. Like you can't buy a house around here. Town's pretty much all taken up.
Awesome. So
Yeah,
so
so
that's so this is your garage studio you're in. What's it?
Mhm.
How big is it?
Pretty big. I'd probably say, what am I looking at here? It's like a 24 by
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, it looks like
Something
you
like
got. Do you have vaulted ceilings there too?
No, it's nothing too special.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, the pretty high ceilings. And then you got your trophies there behind you. Are you? Oh yeah,
Some
you
trophies.
must be pretty into sports. Sorry, just to continue your intro, even because we're still on the intro, sorta. Um, I see that you do a little bit of a sports show. Oh, the name just wait. The name from the cheap seats.
From the
Is that
seats,
how
yeah.
long you been doing that? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Is that like a podcast or what do you consider it?
It's a podcast that my friend John Harris runs, and they got me on there halfway through the season here. You know, they those two buddies that they've been doing it for years, and I think they brought in some young blood. They're older guys, and we just do we pick the spreads for the NFL games.
Oh, cool. Dude, I love
Yeah.
sports betting. I love sports betting. Okay, we'll get into that. My first question was going to be though, what kind of sports have you played and which ones do you like?
So growing up, I we pretty much played all the sports. My primary sport was soccer. That's the one I was actually good at. I'm
Okay.
not too big. I'm about 5'8", but
Yeah.
small school here. I played in all the sports. We played football,
Yeah.
which again I was small, fairly athletic but small. And then I played basketball. I played on the basketball team.
Yeah.
I was a starter, but I mean I'm not saying I was anything special. We're a small school, and you know if you're out there and willing, you got a shot.
Yeah. That's where the white people flourish in the sports still, or at
Yeah,
least in
and
those sports.
even the slightly brown ones too.
Yeah, yeah. I have I have a joke in my thing that I do that I'm sure you wouldn't like now. You wouldn't know it, but the joke is if you grew up playing soccer, your dad's a pussy. And I'm glad you haven't heard it because you would have been very angry at me. But I find it to be a funny bit, but it doesn't always hold true. That's the thing.
That won't hurt my feelings. My dad was never around.
Yeah, and then I
So,
heard then you're like I played football, so I was like, okay, maybe he's not gay.
no, not
Yeah.
too gay.
You have too many kids to be gay.
I have 6 children. Yeah.
Wow.
So you do know
Oh,
that.
I knew you had children. I didn't know you had six. Wowza, that's amazing, man. At
We just had
35.
us.
Oh
Yep.
my God. Wow. Hold on a second. You just blew my mind here.
Yep. All right.
I have zero children.
You got to get going. You got to get on it. I just read this. Less than 50% of all men that have ever been born have had children.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
kind of a crazy
Okay.
fact.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
be part of that statistic, man.
No doubt.
Gotta get some kids out there.
I got to spread the seed a little bit.
Yes,
So,
you do.
so I imagine then you have sorry, I have a million questions here. We'll try to bang through them. I imagine then you have other ways of making money maybe than comedy.
Yeah. No, I've been working at the Safe Factory here, all Beta, the United States factory for 20 years now. So, you know, we started out with child labor. I was 15 years old when I started,
Wow.
part time after school. And I grew up very poor. So I just grew up with my mom, 4 kids. My mom raised us all. So as soon as we could start making money, got out there, started working part time. And then as soon as I turned 18, I got a manager job there. And, I've been there ever since. It's been a great place.
Wow, very cool, man. That's good to have that consistency.
Yeah.
And then, so you've got that solid foundation for income. So yeah, you're all set. So then, what if? And we can be detailed on this one because I'm very curious, like on a lot of the details. Like, what inspired you to start stand-up comedy?
Oh, man. So I was always the class clown. And,
Oh,
I
yeah.
always like getting a laugh from my classmates. And it's something I always kind of wanted to do. And crazy thing was, I don't know, around 2009, my buddy showed me it was a video of, it was Joe Rogan actually doing stand up. And I never knew Joe Rogan as a stand up at all. I didn't know he did that, but he's like getting laughs from the crowd. And I was just like, how is he doing that? It just like, that was so fascinating. Like,
Yeah.
that must be so hard.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
must be so hard to do it like that, just from a guy that you didn't expect to be a stand up. So that was always in the back of my head. And I always wanted to try it. The opportunity never came. And then 3 years ago, a guy here right in my town was doing an open mic. And I was like, man, I got to go out there and do it. So I wrote like a whole bunch of things down 45 minutes before the show. And I went up there and I did 10 minutes of stand-up comedy.
Your first time ever
And-
was 10 minutes.
Well, 10 minutes, which is insane. I look back at it. It wasn't great, but it got laughs. And I was like, oh, man, that felt so good. I wanted to do it. So went out, did it 2 more times, got laughs, did really good. I'm like, man, I got this. I thought I was going to be a pro in like 6 months.
Wow.
And then I got hit in the face, that you finally have that bad one and you're like, oh, hit in the stomach. Like,
For sure.
yeah, I'm an
That's-
idiot.
That's crazy because you're describing almost the exact same thing that inspired me. And, and I saw Rogan do it and I was like, wow, like you don't have to be kind of like a performer type necessarily to do this. Like, and I've always loved laughter also. I was a class clown myself.
Yeah.
The jokes I would use though, like I would just shout out like fart in grade, we're talking grade school, like real young. I would just shout out fart or poop and just laugh my ass off. It was I was out of my mind.
Were the other kids laughing too?
Yes, yes. So I was the class clown also up until you know how it is. Maybe like I don't know. I went through various cycles. So Joe Rogan, have you seen his 2006 special? Like his kind of his first one that was on camera, Joe Rogan Live, where he
I'm
has
trying
the
to think
big
which
shirt, and
one.
this is the one where he has the N-word joke in it, the three magic words, and he talks a lot about girls and girlfriends. It's pretty old.
Okay,
Have you caught that one?
I
I'm
think
just
so.
assuming you're a big
So
Joe Rogan fan at this point, if that's all right.
I'm a fan for sure. So that might have been the one I saw, but I think it might have been the one after that. He did another bit.
Yeah,
I'm not sure which one it was, and
Strange
I do
Times,
think I saw that one, huh?
2013, Strange Times.
So it might have been the 2006 one that I saw in 2009 around there. Yeah, I'm not sure which one it was, but I just remember not specifically even the jokes, but just him getting laughs and being up there. And I was like, man, that looks so freaking awesome.
Oh hell yeah! I know
And then
stand up is an amazing thing. Sorry, go ahead.
it's an amazing thing when you're up there and you're doing it. And I mean, fortunately, even though I'm still like way behind the ball and where I need to be or where some of these other guys were, I've been doing like 20-minute sets and performing, but just locally here in small towns. I've been doing some headlining stuff. So yeah, no, it's an amazing thing. Like when I'm up there, it's like I feel alive. You
Hell,
really just
hell
feel
yeah,
amazing.
hell yeah. Do you think that you'll ever start to do more traveling? Because it seems like that's what would hold you back.
What would hold me back?
Like, have you ever considered doing more like where you go to those big cities for periods of time? Like, I understand you've got a family to take care of, right? And relocating them would be a big thing. House prices are different rurally than they are near, you know, where this stuff happens in New York or Austin or, you know, Vancouver or wherever. Uh, what do you think that you'll ever take the leap into taking that risk to relocate, or would you rather be? Do you think you can make it on the? Because you don't use one thing about you that people won't know that are watching my show is that you don't use uh, technology that much. Like you're just on Facebook, you don't have an Instagram, that kind of a thing. So, what's your plan on getting to the next level? Do you have a plan of attack?
I do. So, and I've seen some of my favorite comics like Sam Morrill or Mark Norman. They didn't put anything out there whatsoever till about 7 or 8 years in. And I remember one of them saying, like, you don't want anything out there of them seeing you before you're good enough. People are just going to dismiss you, like, oh, this guy's not that good.
Yeah,
So that's what I've been working on is getting my act strong and
yeah,
getting better on stage. And I don't feel like I'm in a hurry for any of that, but I'm willing to do or go anywhere. I mean, I've gone up and did a podcast and a show in Omaha, Nebraska with Addie Herman. It's called Quick Draw Comedy. It's like their take on what like Kill Tony is.
okay,
It's like
cool.
a Midwest Kill Tony. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
So I
very
went up there.
cool.
I was a guest host. We had a great time. Pretty fun episode. And no, I'm just taking the at bats here in Kansas City and doing shows when I can. I've been turning down shows and trying to do more open mics and writing and building. So I'm still in that like process. Would
Yeah.
consider myself like a college student right now. I'm not ready to be a pro yet.
Oh yeah. Well, that's good, man. Sounds like you have a good head for it. Like, and you're moving through it. For me, because I don't do that much stand up. I'm even. Oh, my city has more people than you, but I'm in a sense more out in the boonies than you, and so I don't do that much stand up. I focus mostly on podcasts, and I've been doing it about 6 years now. And I felt that my best way to I write I write things that I think are funny when I feel them come across. When they come to me and it's like this was a gift, I'll write that down. But mostly, I've just enjoyed kind of building myself into a character. You know, like you have to find for me. By the way, and this isn't advice to you. I'm not saying any advice. I'm just telling you what I do for my podcasting and stuff. Um, I've enjoyed building myself into a character and kind of trying to figure out because what my opinions even are. Because all my life I've just been pretty much playing sports and keeping my head down and staying out of. I didn't talk that much. I'm not a big talker to be honest, unless I'm on a podcast. And yeah, it's been fun finding all my opinions about everything. Because then when you start it from a foundation of like you're a character, your all of your thoughts become bits. You don't need to necessarily write bits if they're your genuine thoughts, the passion comes through as you say it, whether or not you've practiced it on stage or not, and all those things that many comics think are absolutely critical to being captivating. There are shortcuts, and I think that there's podcasters that I think are clear examples of that. Like Tim Dillon is one right off the bat. Like but there's many others, like younger people that have developed it even faster. And where if you just stick to your character, you don't even have to write. You have to think and speak, you know? And so that's my take on that. Sorry, I was rambling a little bit. What do you think of
No,
that?
and I think you're perfectly right. I think you become a character. So even going on stage, you kind of become you build a persona over time, and it's what works. You really become yourself, because I don't know, a lot of times you're kind of trying to hide who you are. You're hiding behind jokes, but over
Exactly.
time you become that character. And yeah, no, I mean, a podcast is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. One day I have some ideas, but
Get after it,
maybe.
man. There is no reason to delay.
Okay.
You should start today. This can be episode 1 of your podcast, and it can be episode 100 and whatever I said, 15 of mine. Get started. What would you name it if you could name it? Tell me some of your ideas.
Okay, so the one idea I had, my buddy told me it was a terrible idea, but it was the Roger Talks Too Much podcast.
Okay. I like it.
And then another one I want to do is like Roger and his Crazy Friends podcast, and it's a different idea, and I'm going to give it away here to the whole world. By the way, I've told all my friends that you're doing a podcast with you. I'm like, this guy, his name's Stephan Jackson. He's the Canadian Joe Rogan. So no pressure. I know
love it, dude. Thank you.
But it would be where I would call around and get some people that are interesting, or be like, hey, do you know someone that's interesting? And it would be not celebrities or anything, but like an interesting person out that would kind of like call in and give us your story, like what's crazy about you, like what's happened. And I think you can get some interesting takes from people in like a short form,
for sure,
15 to 30 minutes.
Sometimes the most interesting people are people that you wouldn't expect, just kind of regular people. And yeah, I was going to say, you're not giving anything away. Technically, I mean, this is this is publication of your, idea. So you now own it, so you're not giving it away. You're just doing it. You know what I'm saying?
And I wouldn't be surprised if 20 other people have already done it, but
I didn't want to be me. Yes, it does kind of, I've seen lots of those, but it's not, when it comes to podcasting, man, it's it's different. You can't, just because you have a similar idea to somebody else doesn't mean it's the same thing. So, yeah, I don't think there's any discouraging stuff there. And because I mean, at the end of the day, you want your podcast to be as broad as possible, because then it's as easy as possible to continue to make that episode every week when you don't want to, or you feel like you have nothing to talk about. When you're broad, you can do anything,
Sure.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Is there anything else we want to cover there? I kind of blanked out for a second. I had a
no, just starting. Another thing with the starting comedy and how I finally did it. So not Mark Norman, Norm Macdonald, the great Norm Macdonald.
Yes, sir.
I was always a fan. I watched him do the late nights, and I always thought he was funny. And then once he died, I really like dug deep into it. I was like, man, this guy was just great. And it kind of gave me this guy did it. I'll never be like him, but kind of gave me the fuel to actually go out there and do it. So that's another like big inspiration for me.
Awesome. Yeah. Norm Macdonald. He's great inspiration.
And he's Canadian. One of the great things you guys have given us.
Hell yeah, dude. We get forged out in these ridiculous places that we live because we're forced to, I don't know what we're forced to do, like keep the same shitty friends or something like that. So we have to like make the best of a situation. So have you seen many? Because then I'll put you onto this if you haven't, because they are kind of deeper into the internet, and I know you're not onto there too much. Norm has like lots of podcasts. Do you know that he's on?
Yeah.
He actually started his own. There's Norm Macdonald Live, and then there's Norm has a show, and he did the one with Adam Egget there as his sidekick. I imagine you've seen clips, but
I've seen all of them.
Oh, you have? Good.
Yeah,
they're so good. And but yeah, you can be inspired by a person, but you've got to still try to be your own way. It's just so hard to not be derivative of the people that inspired you. I find trouble with that a lot as well.
No, absolutely. No, I agree.
So, what's your town like? Is it just all white people?
No. So it's actually, there's quite a bit of diversity here. So the Catholic Church is open to all. So
yes.
No, I mean, we have the full spectrum. There's a lot of Asians, Filipinos. We have not a huge number, but a decent number of of black families here, and I mean Hispanics. Everything really. It's more the worst than you would think for a small Midwest town.
Yeah. What does the factory make that you work at?
So we make lavatories and showers. It's actually the biggest company in the United States at what we do.
Wow. So it's like
It's
you get to
nuts.
you get to make shitters, but you never have to get your hands dirty. That's funny that I was
Not
referencing shit earlier, and now we find out that you make shitters. I didn't even know that.
not shitters. Did I
Oh,
say lavatory? Lavatories like sinks. We make sinks and showers.
oh, okay. That's what a lavatory is. Okay, I thought a
Yeah.
lavatory was like a bathroom. My bad. No.
No. So not the actual shitters. Those are made by Kohler and the porcelain. We don't get into that market.
Okay, so you're not working with plastic or anything like that. You're kind of assembling these things, or how
No,
does
it is.
porcelain even
It's a
get made?
plastic. It's a.
Okay,
Sorry.
sorry. I was going to say, what? How does porcelain get made, or what are they made of? Go ahead.
So it's not porcelain. So it's a polyether. It's made with resin, and then that is catalyzed and it hardens with the granites. It's quite a beautiful product. You can look it up. It's called the Onyx Collection.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. You're good to like
Yeah.
promote it and stuff. You're not worried about connecting
Well,
your. Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I didn't mean to directly. I don't. They don't need no promotion. They're actually so big. They don't do any advertisement
Yeah.
whatsoever.
If you've been
It's
there
all
for 20 years,
100%.
sorry, I was going to interrupt. If you've been there for 20 years, I'm pretty sure if they fire you, the company will go under. So,
Oh, I doubt it. It's
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm fortunate to be working there.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind, I got kind of the topic of the day here to ask you about, if that's all right. So, I've always found the because man, everybody who has a strong opinion about January 6th, a lot of times they did not even watch Donald Trump's speech on the day of the march. And they like to be like, they like to conveniently be like, there was millions of people that stormed. And it's like, yet there was an event that day where all the people were there to peacefully march towards the Capitol. They were already doing that. It's not like there was some internet conspiracy where hundreds of thousands of people showed up and like started running towards the Capitol. That so it's such a strange. That's my perspective anyway on a lot of what the left people think of the insurrection. And and what I hate about that, right, is if you watch that damn speech of Donald Trump's, and I watched it a couple times just to make sure that I wasn't getting crazy with my opinions, he absolutely does not call for anything other than peaceful protests. And it was clear that the people that were there, like anybody who watched the election, including myself, were just confused as to where all these votes came from in the middle of the night, and they were a little bit confused and untrusting of the whole mail-in ballots and that kind of a thing. And so when you consider all that, it really was a large-scale protest about let's fix the votes. And then, secretly, you don't see that much coverage over it. 2-3 years into Biden's presidency, they pass a new law. As this is my understanding, and anyway, you can correct me if I'm wrong here about this, if you've heard anything different, but that they made it more stringent on the voting, like you have to have an ID or something like that. Like that was passed, I think, a year ago. It's like a new law, and that happened because of the 2020 election. So in a sense, the insurrection was a success in all forms, legally, making democracy better. Yet people want to say it was an attack on democracy when I legitimately see it as a protection of democracy. So anyway, you can you I don't know how to enter into this. You are aware of January 6th. You're an American, you know about it. What's your feelings about the situation? And did you participate in any way, or what do you figure?
Well, yeah, I know. So not only was I there, I was actually convicted of parading and demonstrating in a restricted area. And what you see on TV and what they've marketed it as completely different than what I and most everyone that was there witnessed.
Yeah, that's
it
on
was
my
peaceful.
question list. I was going to say, like, what was the vibe like? Was because they were probably more with the vibe of let's investigate this rather than hey, let's overthrow the government. Like,
I don't think that the ocean was in anyone's mind. I mean, the reason I went there was my buddies were going, and they're like, "Hey, man, I thought it would be a nice getaway." If I knew DC was so shut down and such a shithole, I would have never gone in the first place because I thought we'd go there, hopefully see the election overturned, is what we believed, and we'd get a couple beers and hang out, and then drive back. Get away from the kids for a couple days. But then we went there, and it was dark, gloomy. Everything was shut down, and the rally happened. And then everyone moved their way to the Capitol, and the gates were open. I mean, people were allowed in, was one thing, and the other thing, it was the crowd was there peaceful, and they were agitated by the officers there. There was flashbangs being thrown in. This is documented. And I mean, if you think that I'm making this up and lying about all this, the whole January 6th committee, they deleted all this evidence. If there was something that they were hiding outside of their own narrative, there's some lies there, because why would you delete evidence of what actually happened? So the doors themselves could not have been open unless they were open from the inside. That's a fact. When I came up there, out of curiosity, really, was all these people walking around. There was officers in front of the door, and I said, "Hey, are we allowed to go in?" And he said, "I don't see why not. All your friends are here." So that's a yes. And they told me straight up, no one's stopping you. So we went in there, and there was guys there. There was guys praying. They were chanting. Everyone's having a good time. There was stuff that was destroyed and knocked down, but I didn't see anyone in the crowd there that was doing that. Yeah. I don't know who did that. I don't know what happened. The government now admitted that there was at least 26, if not 28, undercover FBI agents that were acting in the crowd. And we're not going to see that now. Evidence has been thrown out, but that's how many they admitted. And the government, I don't think, is ever going to be fully honest with us how many were really there.
Yeah.
Well, no,
if I could just interject real quick. My thoughts are, it's like you compare January 6th to, let's say, for example, the Black Lives Matter riots. And it's like, I don't know, like, can we blanket this? It's called the Black Lives Matter riots. There was 90% white people at the, so it's like, is that black versus white protesting or what? But then, like, if you're going to compare that, come on, how much more destructive were the Black Lives Matter protests? It's not even comparable. So, and that's how I feel about that. It's like, it's clearly, so you didn't see any violence, right?
I personally did not see any violence whatsoever at all. And the only one thing that I did, and I recorded and I submitted it, was someone that didn't look like they would be in the Trump crowd. Someone covered head to toe, wearing like tactical gear, looked Antifa. From what I've seen as Antifa, there is a guy, and I'm not a big guy about my size. He was running around breaking windows as they were pushing us out.
Yeah.
And people were there like, "Why are you breaking shit, man?" And I have a recording of it, and he ran off.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know. There was actors there. It was
he's a
it was a dark day for sure. I can't tell you exactly what happened, but it's not what the media wants you to believe, that it was the worst, darkest day in American history.
Well, I completely agree with you there. And I feel like a couple things I want to add to that is, it's like, if Biden's going to pardon his own son, I feel like there's a very good chance that pardons are coming for anyone involved in this situation, and
so we've all been pardoned, including myself. We got a full presidential pardon.
Okay, amazing! It happened already. That's amazing, dude. Okay, good, because that was what my next question was going to be. I was going to say, until the pardon happens, I was going to say, like, what has the legal experience been like? If you could give me a bit more of a play-by-play for that, what was that like? And did you get like a letter from the president that was like, "You're pardoned," or what was that like?
So we all got a blanket pardon the day of. So the day that Trump got inaugurated, he signed off a full pardon on all. So anyone that was in jail, they were released within 24 hours. Everyone got pardoned. I actually haven't had a personal letter, but my lawyer said it's going to take some time, probably March, April. So it should be coming anytime now. And
Holy shit! I'm so happy to learn that. I can't believe I didn't know that, dude. Isn't that funny how the things that make it out in the news, like that did not make it to me. The fact that they pardoned everybody.
That was pretty mainstream. And then I know a lot of the left has some problem with it. Why are they letting these guys go? The violent people. And I'm not saying that there wasn't anyone that wasn't violent. They clashed. And whenever you have a confrontation, people are going to act up. If someone pushes you, you're going to shove back, right? Naturally, as humans, as men. And I think that probably happened. I didn't see it. In videos, it certainly looks like there was some back and forth, but You
you
know,
can't you
for the
can't
most part,
it's mob mentality, and you
yeah,
can't fault an entire protest because of micro events within the mob. So wow, that's so awesome. I'm glad to
sure.
hear that. So
Look it up.
yeah, I got to do more research. So what
Yeah.
are you into these days? So like outside of stand up comedy, what are some of the things that you do to keep busy? When you get away from the kids, okay, because like you've got 6 kids, and I want to kind of go back to this a little bit because you did legitimately blow my mind because you got a lot of stuff going on. You're working at a factory, you're doing stand up comedy, you got the dream, and you got a fucking soccer team of your own breed out there. So it's like, um, what is your favorite thing to do to when you got your own time? You obviously like to talk about sports. Oh yes, that was what we were going to get into, was some sports betting as well. I like to bet on MMA, and I do quite well. I actually bought my first house. Like I do real estate. I have houses that I rent to students, and I got my first house with playing poker. So I'm a gambler at heart. And so sports betting, though, I've always been a little afraid of because I think it takes me out of the math world a little bit. I like poker because I can use tricks,
Yeah.
and then but with sports betting there's less tricks, but because MMA is so new, I find that there's I can expose it pretty bad. I've made a decent amount betting on MMA. What you bet on? What do you do? Football spreads, and how do you do on that? You're pretty successful.
So I used to bet on football, but I've kind of stepped away from betting at all. So I do the podcast, and I make my picks, but I don't actually bet the games anymore. I used to. So a couple of years ago, when it was the Chiefs and Tampa Bay with Brady, I had a great run, and I made a lot of money in the playoffs. I think I won. Well, I know I won 12 of the 13 games against the spread.
Oh,
And I took home a nice chunk there at the end. I was betting several $1,000s on those last few games, and I
that's
lost the
wide.
Super Bowl. I bet on the Chiefs to win, but I didn't bet that much. But that was the last time I bet. So that's been what,
This
about
year
3 years?
or that year? That year.
That
Yeah,
year, and
yeah,
then I haven't since then because
yeah,
it's a hard game.
yeah.
It's hard to make money, and it's hard to be disciplined. So you can win, but eventually, greed is gonna keep betting, and most people
Sure.
I know don't make money betting on sports.
For
And I
sure.
actually wouldn't recommend it. In New Jersey now, they said over $1 billion in losses in the last calendar year on sports betting.
Yeah, man.
That's $1 billion.
Yeah, I believe it. That's all money that could be in people's pockets, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I have a family. I don't like to gamble with that.
yeah.
I think the biggest gamble I make is probably with crypto. And I mean, it's been pretty good. I've been in there long enough that,
Oh,
you know, I'm still surviving.
well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, when I sports bet, I don't like to bet more than 100. Man, no, I haven't dabbled in crypto at all. My investments, like I like to put all my money into physical things that I can manage and improve myself. And
Which is smart.
yeah, I feel a lot less anxiety from that. Even though I know housing markets crash, but they do come back. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
No, you're safe there. But that anxiety and that get your heart beating thing is what drives gamblers.
for sure.
At some point, it's not even about money; it's about just having that thrill.
Yeah. So
And
okay, cool. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it
Go ahead.
takes having a certain amount of money to get that thrill at a certain point.
I know that's the
Which
problem. The more money you get, the more you have to bet to get the same thrill.
and that's where it becomes dangerous. And I don't know.
Exactly.
I think I'm smart enough to stay away from that.
Exactly. So, what else do you like to do? You got your podcast with that you're guest on, and you've got your sports betting. You've got what else do you like to do to unwind?
So you say get away from the kids. So I coach. I coach kids soccer. I coach a pretty competitive team here. We won first place last year. My oldest son, he's a pretty good athlete. So that's soccer. And then I coach baseball in the spring. So I do soccer, baseball, and then fall is soccer. So I do 2 seasons of soccer every year, and then baseball. And then when I'm not doing that and there's no comedy, I like to get out into the woods.
Oh,
Me and
hell
my
yeah.
buddies. And the thing is, we also bring the kids, so I don't really get away from the kids. I don't know. My
Sure,
wife
but
wouldn't really let
you
me.
put the kids in the woods, and they kind of like turn into little like animals where they just kind of keep to
They,
themselves, and they're playing with sticks over there, or they're doing something where it's you're not away from them, but in a sense you feel away from them.
You do, but then they're also learning something in the woods, and it's get away from the video games and TV, which we don't really allow in the house whatsoever. But yeah, they don't need that temptation. But you take them out there, and they get to be real boys. I mean, like we're animals at our core, right? So why not let them be out there and
for sure
be in their true nature? And I mean, they love it. My wife thinks I would try to kill them every time they come out. They're like, "Oh, we got stranded in a boat," or it started raining on us. But and every time I said, "You guys gonna go out?" They all say, "Yep, I do." They fight over it. So a couple of my buddies, we get some steaks and we go out, pack some bags, and go out in the middle of nowhere and just camp.
A couple of ribeyes with the good guys. That's awesome, man.
Ribeyes.
Well, and with that, I will say, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. If people want to find you, I'm sure that your name is etched somewhere on a rock or something like that. Like, I'm not sure what technology you're using. I'm just kidding. But like, where can they find you? Do you have a website, or where should people go and look for you and your comedy?
I don't have a website, but it's Facebook. Just Roger Rebegila, Rebgila, and we'll take it from there. If anyone wants me on a podcast or talk further about any of the topics we talked today, I'd be glad to give you my time. If anyone's looking to book shows, I'm available here for the next couple months at least. So give me a call. But
having another kid,
keep doing that. Not too soon. Hopefully not anytime soon.
Triplets. You got to keep up with the town average.
I think we'll get there.
Yeah.
I think we'll get there organically, but
okay. No. All right, everybody. So that's Canadian Talk. So you go and find Roger on Facebook and book him, and I'll be sure to tell all the people I know in the podcast world to get you on their shows. So
thank you so much.
Man. Thanks for telling your stories about the Capitol and everything else. And I wish you the best of luck. We'll do some more podcasts in the future.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Have a good night. God bless.
Okay, cool. Please go subscribe to our YouTube page, Canadian Talk with Stephan podcast. We need you down there. Also, we have a website, stephanjackson.ca, where you'll find the audio versions. As well, you can email us if you got a question or anything you want to see us talk about, CanadianTalkwithStephan@gmail.com.